Now, most interview advice focuses on answering questions flawlessly. But what if I told you that there's a way that you can increase your chances of hearing back after an interview, even if you weren't so flawless? Yes, there's actually a way to grab that job, even if you didn't completely nail the interview. There's hope. There's still hope. My name is Sheila Hammond, and after 25 years as a business analyst and product owner, I've had my fair share of interviews, both good and really, really bad. So I'm telling you, whether you flub it or whether you nail it, you want to show the interviewers that you care and that you're passionate about the job you're interviewing for. You do this by flipping the script and asking pointed, insightful questions during and after the interview. So, this approach is going to demonstrate your value to your prospective team, and it's going to show that you have genuine interest in the opportunity. Here's a key takeaway we often forget about interviewing: interviews are a two-way street. Yes, you are interviewing them too. This is also your chance to assess whether the company is a good fit for you. So flip that script. They need to impress you too. While interviewers typically ask the questions, it's equally important for you to ask insightful questions that demonstrate your interest in the role and in the company culture. These questions will not only help you learn more about the opportunity, but it also impresses the interview with your proactiveness and critical thinking. So, the first thing that you might want to do is get a better understanding of the role and expectations and what you're going to be doing for the company. So, try this question out: what are the biggest challenges someone might face in this role in the first 30 to 60 days? I freaking love this question. It's not only great for demonstrating that you're proactive and you're ready to jump in and hit the ground running, but it helps understand the role's current state and the expectations. It also gives you a clue as to what the initial challenges might be. Like, are there ongoing projects that you're going to have to pick up that are going to require your immediate attention? Are there knowledge gaps that you're going to need to fill quickly? Just some wee red flags to look for with this question. If the interviewer struggles to define any major challenges, it could indicate a lack of clarity on the role itself. I've been hired for or done interviews for jobs where they don't really know why they're hiring someone. They just have a head count and they're trying to fill it. So, an answer that also overly focuses on mundane tasks like onboarding. If they anticipate that you're going to take 30 to 60 days to onboard, that's going to imply that there's a really rigid work environment, which is really gross. So, finally, be wary of unreal expectations for the new hire as a new hire within 60 days, because it could be a sign of understaffing, a toxic work environment, a chaotic work environment. So, this brings me to my next question. I always go in thinking, this position is open for a reason. I wonder what happened to the last guy that was here, right? So when I ask this question, I'm looking for any gotchas, right? I just kind of want to see what's going on. So I will pointedly say, can you tell me a bit more about why this position is currently open? That is a perfectly valid question, and this approach is straightforward and professional. There's nothing wrong with asking that question. This question allows you to peek behind the curtain and see if there's any red flags, like, is there a high turnover rate? Is there a lack of clarity about the role's responsibilities? It's a good way to assess potential challenges that you might face if you take the job. You may also ask something like, what are you hoping that I will accomplish in this role within the first 90 days? This will give you great insight to your workload and whether or not it's realistic. If the person you're talking to outlines an overwhelming workload or unrealistic goals for a new hire within the first 90 days, this could be a sign of understaffing, poor planning, toxic, chaotic work environment, all those things. So just run, just run. There's nothing wrong with gracefully withdrawing your application. Nothing wrong with that at all. I also always want to learn about my manager because I'm nosy, but I will also ask this during the interview process, not only to my manager if I get to interview with my manager, which you should get to interview with your manager, but also to everyone that I interview with, teammates, stakeholders, whoever's there. I ask this same question. I ask, what is my manager's management style? So by asking this of everyone, I get different perspectives, right? What does the manager say their management style is, about themselves? What do the other people that I'm interviewing with say? How do the people that are on my team perceive the manager's style? So if the answers differ significantly, that could be a red flag, but at least you get all of that input Cool. You want to make sure that you look for autonomy. You want a job that you could go in and actually be allowed to do your job and not feel like you're being babysat, right? So that's why I asked that question. I also don't want a manager who's like super micromanagey. So that's important to me. So I ask, not that anytime I've ever asked that question has the manager said, yeah, I totally like to micromanage. That's just the way to go. Micromanagement is the bomb. No one's ever said that, but asking that of the teammate, they'll tell you, they'll be honest. All right, so the next step, let's talk about culture. Culture is really important to me, but the thing is that people talk about culture as if it's the same thing for everyone. It's not. I think that you're better off if you ask detailed questions about the culture. Don't just ask the question, so how's the culture here? Not that you would do it that way, but so how's the culture here? Some people I've worked with thought that the culture was awful. And I was like, this is the bomb culture. And other people, and vice versa, basically. So if culture is important to you, the first thing you need to do is craft that question to fit your requirements and needs. So first of all, brainstorm a list of what matters most to you in a work environment. Like, is it the work-life balance? Is it teamwork? Is it being able to do innovative things? Is it professional development and growth? So figure out what your values are there. Then research the company, look for the company's mission statement, core values, and employee reviews like Glassdoor. And there's one called Comparably. That's also a good one where you can get on and look at reviews. And then identify the that's a hard word. Identify the specific values that they emphasize. Now you're ready to craft questions based upon what you value. So, with this information, you can formulate questions that target the aspects of the culture that are most important to you, referencing the company's values that you identified. For example, if work life balance is important to you and the company says that they emphasize collaboration and flexible work arrangements, you could ask, hey, you mentioned the importance of collaboration. How does the team approach work life balance when tackling large projects with tight deadlines? Does the company offer flexible work arrangements to support that balance? Remember, a good question isn't meant to grill the interviewer. It's about sparking a genuine conversation. You want to demonstrate your critical thinking, and you also want to prove that you're genuinely interested in this opportunity. I've created a handout of 25 great questions to ask during and after your interview. The link to download it is in the description. I have this list on hand for every single interview that I do. And usually I pick, I'll check off like 5 or so before I start an interview, things that I want to ask in that job and make sure that I get answered just to be prepared. So prioritize this list however you want based upon your needs and definitely tailor it to the specific role and company that you're interviewing for. Another part of flipping the script is not necessarily waiting for your interviewer to contact you first. The horror, the horror. If you're super interested in a position, then follow up on it. Show that interest. Following up after the interview shows that professionalism and initiative and grit and determination. It shows that you really want this job. Sending a thank you note, really, if it's a job that you interviewed for and you're like, gosh, I really, really want it, send a thank you note within 24 hours and reiterate your interest in the position. Highlight some things that happened in the interview, things that you're excited before that you found out in their interview. And talk about things that just resonated with you about the position. Keep it concise and totally proofread it. You don't want to send this email that is riddled with grammar and spelling errors. So to me, this one is really, it really is required. If it's a job that you really want, you need to send that thank you email. Even if you send the thank you email to the initial recruiter that contacted you, they can forward that on. And I hear a lot from people, oh, this is so old fashioned. Nobody sends thank you notes anymore. They do. They do. I swear. It's not old-fashioned. So the key to a successful interview isn't just about answering their questions flawlessly. It's about demonstrating your value to the team and your genuine interest in the opportunity. So by following these suggestions, you can set yourself apart from other candidates who didn't show a deeper interest in the company and its culture. So if a candidate maybe answered everything wonderfully and then the interviewer said, "Hey, do you have any questions for me?" And they're like, "Nah, nah, I'm good. I'm good." Eh, You may have not answered every question perfectly to their liking, but when they asked you if you had any questions, you had questions ready. You were really interested. You showed that drive and desire. Hirers want to hire people with initiative and someone who actually acts like they want that job. So, also, one thing about this process is always trust your gut feeling throughout the interview. If something feels off or the red flags are numerous, it's perfectly okay. Like I said before, just withdraw your application. It's perfectly fine to do that. So, hey, do you want more career advice specifically tailored for you? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. Also, if there's any questions that you'd like me to answer or any video ideas that you'd like from me, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. So that's all I have for you today. Lazy BA out.